Live on FUTV, we are here with the breakdown. Manchester United getting back to winning ways finally at Old Trafford and finally in all competitions, really, with our first win in a month against Brentford, coming from behind to win 2-1. A miles better second half performance, or a good spell of that second half anyway, we could say that. I'm here with Jay to go through everything that went down in the game, how it came about for United to concede that goal, all of the ins and outs, the fallouts, and everyone's opinions. Get your comments in the live chat now, everybody. Get in there with your man of the match predictions as well, please. I want to know who you thought stood out for Manchester United today in that victory. But Jay, first of all, coming to you, what a much needed victory that was for Manchester United today.
Yeah, Adam, first win since the 3-0 drubbing of Southampton. We're now 11 points from 8 games and up to 11th in the table on a -2 goal difference. But an important win today, Adam, and obviously we're going to go deep into it, but let's be fair, we played well for 15-20 minutes.
Yeah, we had a good spell. We had a good spell in the second half. We did, didn't we? Where we showed actual fight, and it looked like Manchester United really wanted a victory for a change. I'm agreeing with everybody who's saying that these players played for the manager. I think they have been playing for the manager. I just don't think the direction's been good enough. But today, like Ten Hag said himself, he pretty much said it all after his post-match interview. He said, look, we were all angry. And we channeled that anger. They felt hard done to. If anything, Jay, do you know what? The goal from Brentford might have actually been a blessing in disguise because it really gave Manchester United a kick up the arse. And we did, like Ten Hag said, use that anger and channel it. And finally, we came out in the second half like we actually were alive. We were awake and we wanted to do something about it because that hasn't been the case this season, mate.
Yeah, I accept that point. First half, midfield was listless, lifeless. Rashford was doing his usual missing action tour. Apart from the 2 shots that Garnacho had and that save from Onana, they're the only things from the first half that stand out. You're in the ground, obviously you've seen more than me, but I thought the first half, Brentford were bossing that midfield. If only our physios could operate a tub of Vaseline, that incident may not have happened, my friend. And it's a great point. Going in 1-0 down at half time, should have been 0-0 to be fair. That was kick up the arse they needed. And I don't think it was any major team talk from Den Haag. I think the players just got pissed off. And if we can get that 15-20 minute for 90 minutes, well, then we're going to see a different team entirely.
Well, that's it. It's like 20 minutes does not get you a win every single week. That's the problem we've got. Consistency throughout the 90 minutes because that was the most boring, dullest, worst from both sides, not just United, game of football ever. For the Premier League and the level that we're at, that standard of football in that first half was absolutely diabolical. It was horrendous. It was a yawn fest. The most exciting bit of the half was trying to figure out from the stand where we were who was actually on the floor. Little did we think at the time when De Ligt was on the deck that this would pay and have such significance within the game and determining where the game actually went, because I don't think the game went or goes anywhere near where it did do without that incident and that goal. I really don't, because United would have just seen that out. It was, like you said, like Van Nistelrooy stormed off from the dugout, yellow card. Ten Hag, yellow card. Everyone was raging. Look, by the letter of the law, that first goal stands. Like, the player's got blood all over him. He has to go off the pitch. You said it then, Jay. United had a chance 2 minutes before to actually fix up De Ligt, and they didn't. They could have brought on a substitution. They could have done anything there. But ultimately, in the end, it cost United the goal. Dello was asleep. Dello, I didn't think had a great game anyway today. I thought he was at fault for the goal in first giving the throw-in away to an opposition player, which brought the corner. Then he was left wanting in the marking in the box for the actual goal as well. So, really got no problem at all with Manchester United's comeback from that. My only concern from it was, like, why does it take that kick up the arse, that shock to the system, the players angry, going in at half-time angry, to get that performance out of them? Why do we have to go down so low to come back, Jay? That's the problem. Why can we not play with that intensity from the start of a game? And you know what? We won't have half the problems that we've got, because it doesn't matter what tactics you've got. Actually getting up for a game is a big, big issue for Manchester United, it seems. And I just think we've been caught cold early in games, early in the starts of the second half, constantly this season already. Like, why are we not ready? We know what's coming. Why are we not ready for it?
Okay, so Brentford have scored within the first 2 minutes the last 4 games. Point one. Today they hadn't won at Old Trafford since 1936. Some points first half that I jotted down here, and I'm reading exactly. I said need to press and win the ball high up the pitch as Brentford play out from the back. What else do I said here? Disjointed press, not pressing the team. And why is Bruno pressing by himself? Press is functional. There are just notes I was jotting down from the first half. So the standout from the first half was that Onana save on Nogard in 30 minutes and 2 shots from Garnacho.
Yep, that was it.
That was it in the first half. Now you're in the ground. I'm literally obviously at home on my sofa, and there was a few times there where my son gave me an elbow. Dad, wake up! Literally, Dad, wake up.
That's what it was like.
That's shocking, mate.
That's what it was like. Many people came out, and there's loads of fan vlogs to come out. There's loads of opinions flying around after the game. So go and check out the fan vlogs as well from the people in the actual ground. I came out there quite happy. I was up. Do you know what I thought? You know what? I've seen a little bit of fight from Manchester United. I've seen some individuals actually turn up. I thought Garnacho was standout man of the match. I do think that he saved Manchester United today. He was the only player in the first half of note. I don't care what anybody says. I thought he was the only one that was actually creating anything or willing to do something different. And then to take that goal and literally set the stall out in the second half, you needed someone with confidence to be on the end of that. And don't get me wrong, it was a fantastic ball from Marcus Rashford as well. We'll come on to him soon as well. But Garnacho today takes his flowers. He was by far the man of the match today. And he literally... he brought that team together today. He carried Manchester United into that momentum period where everybody started to up their game. It takes one player, I feel, sometimes just to do something or create something to get the rest of the team on board. And it was like infectious. It spread throughout the team. And then the second half went on from there for me. And I thought United controlled it and were worthy victors in the end by a mile. I thought Brentford were appalling in the second half. They didn't give anything. The only team that was really beating Manchester United today was Manchester United. And luckily, we got over that hurdle this time, Jay. I just want to say quick thanks to Lee Mack with a super chat. Good to finally meet you and Kaz before the game. Absolute pleasure. As for the game, first half was shite. Second half was more moments, but it's 3 points. Look, Jay, I'm just going to come to you on this one. Like, many people came out. It's like, I'm upbeat. I'm thinking, right, 3 points. Finally, we can talk about some goals, some good performances, but everyone coming out the ground was reserved. Everyone was like, not getting carried away with this. It was a good spell in the game. I'm thinking everyone's going to actually be jumping all over this. Yeah, I've had the obvious hate, people saying that I'm not happy that United have won. You're an absolute disgrace if you think that, and you're probably scraping the barrel of patheticness. Be honest, in my opinion, if you think that I'm not going to celebrate Man United winning, you're a bit of a sad sack, aren't you? You saddos, and you know who you are as well. But everybody came out, Jay, in that, and they were a little bit flat. I mean, go and watch the fan vlogs later and see people's opinions of who was actually at the ground watching the game, Jay, and you'd be like, you'd have thought in part that we didn't actually win the game. But I think the first half deflated so many people, and the players needed to turn up to get that crowd on board. And luckily, the players did turn up off the back of what was that issue and that sort of scenario with De Ligt. But it was one of them games where something needed to light the fire, Jay. And I don't think many fans at the ground, to answer your question, were completely blown away by it. They were just happy that they got 3 points.
Okay, a lot to unpack there. So first of all, reference to the individuals that you encountered that are saying that you're not a true fan or you're toxic or you're this. Look, everybody watching knows who you are and what you're about and how you would give raw, honest opinion. And anyone that thinks otherwise, that's their opinion, they're entitled to it. Do we agree? Absolutely not. And I'm sure when I go over to the Europa League game in a few weeks' time, I'm going to listen to the same crap. I don't care. We want United to win. We want them there every week. It doesn't happen. And the very fact that the fans left the ground somewhat deflated, it just shows how that match-going fans view the team performances through the prism of pragmatism. That's a phrase I'm going to coin now, the prism of pragmatism. I haven't wrote down, it just come now. The game today, if you look at it on a pie chart, 45 minutes, listless, dull, Brentford, Boston midfield. 20 minutes, Garnacho took the game by the scruff of the neck, demanding the ball, scores on the 50th minute and changed the complexion of the game. Rasmus scores on the 62nd minute. Then United go into their usual shell. Set back, thinking, okay, we've enough down here, or what it told by Ten Hag on the sideline, to sit back. So we're at 65 minutes, we're 2-1 up, and then there's a period where Brentford started to get a little bit on top. And then the last 5 minutes in my pie graph, Brentford could have got an equaliser in injury time. And I'm sure you were there sitting, don't let it happen again, don't let it happen again. How many times have you been at the ground and we're leading 2-1 or 1-0 up, and the injury time will concede? And today, the very fact that we didn't concede inevitably and drop points, I think the fans left it, hang on, we got out of jail there, we got our 3 points, thank God at last. And our first win since Southampton. I don't count the Carabao Cup as a win. It's a trinket tournament. So fans leading the ground today, they're good, honest people. They're not buoyed by a 2-1 win like the Brentford. They're being pragmatic. They're being real, and they're the real fans, and they're the fans that I will listen to.
Yeah,
anybody else, I'm not interested, mate.
Yeah, I don't think anyone, like everyone who watches that game, everyone who was at the game there today, some people have said to me, like, why are you not talking about the tactical dominance in the game? I was like, you got to be joking me. Like, what game are you actually watching? Some people are actually saying that Garnacho wasn't man of the match. Are you serious? Like, every journalist that was there is giving man of the match. Everyone who was watching it will know that he was the one that was the difference and changed the game. Sometimes you need a player to stand up. Sometimes you need a player to change the tempo. And that's why I brought Garnacho into this, because he was giving everything in the first half and he warrants his place in the side. He took his goal superbly and he changed the direction of that game single-handedly. I don't care what anybody says. I do want to move on to, thank you for the donated membership, gone to Guest. That's from UK Strains. Appreciate that, buddy. I do want to talk about Marcus Rashford, though, Jay. I'm not a fan. I still aren't a fan of Marcus Rashford. I think United should still cash in on Marcus Rashford, but I will call it out when it is there. That was Marcus Rashford's best performance that I have seen personally up close. I think even when I'm watching on TV, apart from that first half against Porto, the best I've seen him play for a long time today. And I just want to give Marcus Rashford the props for actually sticking it in there a little bit today. He got stuck in for me, and it was a brilliant bit of vision to create that goal as well. I know it's a moment, and we can go down that avenue again of Moments FC, but I thought overall, I didn't want the one brilliant assist from Rashford to be the one standout bit, because when you're at the game you can see what he does, and I thought he did give more today, and I just wanted to talk about that. How did it look for you with Marcus Rashford from watching it from the TV? And everyone else, get into the comments as well, please let me know how you thought Rashford played today. I want to know everyone's opinion on this, because I thought it was all right. Jay?
Okay, first half, as a collective, along with his teammates, we weren't doing a whole lot. Second half, I thought his work rate, it was probably the busiest performance I've seen from Rashford in probably 3 years. His work rate up and down the wing. And also, he was interchanging left and right with Garnacho as well. So the full backs at Brentford didn't know what was going to hit them. They kept interchanging. Has Rashford turned a corner? We'll wait and see. But I will give him the credit today. It was his work rate, his attitude. And if that is the tipping point now in Rashford, and he's going to do that week in, week out, well, then I'll back him 1,000%.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you can only give credit to what is there, and what you can give credit to. Like, it's there. If it's there to be given, then you're going to give it. And today he deserved it. I thought he worked hard, and I thought, like you said then, Jay, it's the best that we've seen of Rashford for a long, long time overall. And he does have his moments as well. And people were saying it's like at half-time, it's going to be Rashford that gets brought. It's going to be Rashford that stays on the pitch. It's the same. It'll be Højlund that comes off. There's a pecking order here, but in the end, I thought Rashford deserved to stay on the pitch, and he was a threat, I thought. But you have to obviously give credit to all of the front players, to be honest, Jay. And it was just nice to see, I thought, all of the front three involved in the goals, because I thought Rasmus There were moments when his touch was bad, but there were moments when he held the ball up really well today. And I thought he linked up okay, and he just needs to start getting a bit more game time. And if he does stay fit, then he is a threat for Manchester United. He definitely offers something different. And then with Ahmad on the bench as well to make a difference sometimes. But it was just nice that the players that started the game were the ones that made the impacts. And the substitutions were really just coming in to rest players out who needed the right rest time. So I was sort of like more encouraged by that than anything else, Jay, that United's starting 11 took it upon themselves to actually right the wrongs that were there in the first half. And credit to Garnacho and Rashford. And I wanted to give a little bit of props to Rasmus Højlund as well, Jay, because he took his goal exceptionally well, I thought.
Yeah, the first thing I'd say about Højlund, his face looks a lot leaner.
He's lost a bit of weight. He's actually come out and said that.
He looks like he's lost a bit of weight. And I did read an interview where he said he was going on weight loss. He almost looked like he had that puppy cheek kind of baby fat look that some players have in their 20s. But obviously, whatever he's done, it's worked, and he looks sharper, he looks leaner. He's not going to control every single pass perfectly, control the ball, hold it up, play perfectly every single pass. He's not. His goal, that is straight from the Ruven Nistelrooy, ice in your veins, striker's finish. That was a striker's finish today. Ice in his veins, took his goal very, very well. And we'll give Bruno credit for one thing today, and one thing only, that flick to Højlund. Apart from that, Bruno was Bruno.
When you look at it, Jay, just on that there,
yeah,
Rashford stays on the pitch and plays for Ten Hag constantly because of what he did. Bruno Fernandes stays on the pitch because of what he did. They are the moment players, and we've said this before. If them two do not perform or do their bits, United don't get the results. Today, Bruno was garbage. Rashford was good. That's why I wanted to make a point of making that before we talk about the moment that he gave, which was a brilliant assist. But Bruno, again, this is Ten Hag football. It is that moment. And you know what? His moment players turned up when he needed them today, and they got him the 3 points.
But Adam, therein lies the inherent problem. We need the moments players turn up consistently week in, week out. So the moments players literally are the consistency of inconsistency. And that is why we are sitting 11th in the league on 11 points, minus 2 goal difference. Yes, today they turned up, but where will it be on Thursday in Turkey?
Well, this is what I've said to every single person outside after we spoke with him on the fan vlogs. It's like, this only works, and we all know this. We've been here before. We've seen the win against Fulham. We didn't win for 2 games after that. We lost both our next home games. We get a decent result in the Cup. We fall apart in the next one. It's the inconsistency that kills this team more than anything else. And we have been here before. No one, I think, walking out of Old Trafford was getting carried away. I said that again. It just was nice to get 3 points and see a couple of goals in the second half and walk away in a different mood, a bit more of an upbeat mood. But when I asked everyone about the games coming up, they're still not that fully convinced we can get the points against Fenerbahce, because this only works if we beat Fenerbahce and West Ham. You can say that the Villa point was a good point then if you back it up by beating Brentford, winning against Fenerbahce, and obviously beating West Ham. That's when it counts. You can call them good results if they're backed up, and we won't be kicking off about individual games, like saying that it was a ball fest against Villa and we just went for a draw. We won't be saying that if we actually backed it up and had a few wins in a row. It's that. That's what needs to happen next to convince more people that we are moving forward on the Ten Hag, Jay. I'm still in exactly the same mindset. I'm not getting carried away. I always want Manchester United to win. I think this team is good enough to be top 4. I keep standing by that, but no one picks up on it. They all think I'm being too negative. But today, I thought Manchester United just reacted to a moment that they thought they'd been done to. Why does it take that reaction? And that's the only worrying sign that I took from today. I won't have it how anyone thinks that we were completely the better side throughout the game. The first half was garbage. No one created anything at all. Them, Brentford, honestly, I can see why, Jay, they have not got any points away from home. They are absolutely useless. They were horrendous today, Brentford. And they did not come to score. They literally sat everyone behind the ball. Thankfully, we found a way through. And like I said, I'll go back to it. The reason we won that game was because they scored. I think it just kicked us into life, Jay.
Yeah, agreed. And I'm not buying into United getting hard done by for that goal. The referee is following the rules of the game and the medical guidelines that are there for a good reason. The medical staff on the sideline, Adam, caused that to happen. Mm-hmm. We can go in hard, I'll be wanting the low. We know it was a very, very poor throw in his behalf. He didn't track Pinnock, but the medical staff should have had Delit on that pitch. They had two or three attempts, I can't remember correctly, to get his wound sorted out. It's Vaseline and some gauze. It doesn't take a PhD in medicine to figure that one out. That's the medical staff. So we've gone on for years about how poor the medical staff are and players' injuries and players get muscle injuries. You saw today, live at Old Trafford, the incompetence of the medical staff today on a player that can't do a simple first aid job.
Yeah, that was down to them. You are dead right, Jay, on that one. That was appalling for Manchester United in trying to get that over the line. It was laughable, to be honest. I was saying it on my match day vlog. I was just saying like how they cannot get this fixed with 3 attempts. It's just an absolute joke. It really is. I wanted to move on to our midfield. We touched on Bruno there. Do you know what? I don't think there is any point in talking about Bruno Fernandes, to be honest. I think he is where he is. He's lost in a United shirt at the moment, but he'll always give you that one little moment that we've discussed already. I want to talk about Casemiro. Mixed reports and mixed reviews for him today from the fans at the ground, I thought, listening to people and talking to people outside, Jay. But one fan in particular, Zamir, his vlog is the latest one to go up if you want to watch it. He thinks that Casemiro should be there ahead of Ugarte, and he thought he is the one that's being used as a scapegoat right now in this Manchester United fan base and probably within the media as well. He thought he played well today. I wasn't fully convinced myself, but on Casemiro in midfield today, Jay, how did you rate him? What do you think of his performance coming back in today?
First of all, let's frame this that he's playing against a Brentford midfield.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was 6.5 out of 10. He was solid. He was tidy. Passing range was okay. Didn't have to do much tackling. Against a top 6 midfield, I think Casemiro at his age gets found out. To the fact that he'd been made scapegoated by the media, but that's just typical English media. If Casemiro was a aging world-class English player, the media in England would give him a free ride. So I think it's a bit of jingoism on behalf of the English media going in hard on Casemiro, making him scapegoat all the time. Again, you saw him live today. I saw him on TV. What was your perception of Casemiro? I thought he was neat and tidy today. I didn't think he could do much. Obviously, you want more from a player of his caliber. What did you see?
I think there were moments in the game there. He got caught on the ball. He was too slow. Obviously, Rusty not played for a while. I thought his passing wasn't great. I thought he was wasteful with the ball in quite a few times. Grew into the game like most players did in the second half. Because I'll go back to what people have been saying. How United controlled the game and limiting Brentford to 2 shots. Seriously, come on. You're clutching at straws on that one. And everyone was poor in the first half. Apart from Garnacho, who probably just about scraped an half-decent performance out of it. He was the one shining light. But Casemiro, I thought his passing was off. I thought his time on the ball, he needs games. Casemiro needs to be playing week in, week out, I feel, to actually find his feet. And then he started to grow into it later on. But again, I think he's got a problem now because you've got Manuel Ugarte, and I can see people in the chat saying the same thing, Jay. They're like, why is he not starting Manuel Ugarte? And then Ugarte comes on, and it looks like he's playing in a number 8/10. He's further up the field than what I thought. And again, I'm like, why are you bringing him on the pitch? And he's that far up the field. There was one moment where Ugarte was steamrolling up the field, and he got turned by the drop of a shoulder and was completely out of the game. That's our so-called expert defensive midfielder. And I'm thinking, what's he doing up there? Like, backs to the wall. Even if you have to scrape out 3 points right now, get back in position. I mean, who's telling him to go up the field there, charging and marauding forward and leaving the space in behind? It's a weird one right now. And I think Ten Hag is going to struggle with getting the best out of Casemiro. Now he's got Manuel Ugarte. I think he has to decide on one or the other and stick with it. And like Zamir said today in the fan vlog, he said he would go with Casemiro. He thinks Ugarte is a waste of money. He's not the answer. So it's crazy what match-going fans actually see.
Interesting take. I'm actually looking forward to watching that video later on. It's an interesting take.
Because he doesn't rate Garnacho either. He thinks he thinks he's getting overhyped because he's a foreign and he's from Argentina. That's his take on it.
I'm not having that. Look, we've had players going back to years that have literally, quote the phrase, grab a game with a scruff of the neck. You had Rooney, you had Beckham, you had Keane. Chips are down. One player literally takes the team on his shoulders and plays out of his skin. Today that was Garnacho. So I'm not having that in Garnacho. Not a chance. I've said many times I don't think Ten Hag is the right manager to develop him fully, get his full potential. But I'm not having the fact that he's overhyped. On the Orgade thing, I think, Adam, and everyone live chat, Orgade was chomping at the bit to come on.
Mm-hmm.
And when he came on, he thought, right, I'm gonna prove to this manager I should be starting here week in, week out. And then went marauding forward and got caught out because he was so bloody well motivated to prove a point to the manager that I should be starting ahead of Casemiro.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I can see people saying it, overhyped, question marks. Go watch the video. Interesting takes, honestly. The videos are out and all the other ones will be out later tonight as well. So make sure that you go and watch them and see what people are actually saying. And you'll know where I'm coming from. If it looks to me like I am being overly negative at all in any of this, then listen to the people I spoke to. I'm sure I was the one that was trying to come across as the positive one, but they can only talk about what they see. Still not convinced. A lot of work to do. And let's be honest, like I said in my vlog in particular, no one above us is going to be scared by that performance. No one is going to be thinking that Manchester United are back and we need to worry. Other teams will use what happened today and the amount of possession United lost and punish us with it. We've seen it before. The two teams that came to Old Trafford, we scraped a win against, weren't as good. That was Fulham and Brentford. The two teams that have got players that will punish you destroyed us in Liverpool and Spurs. So I think we just have to put it all in perspective. It's like it comes down to your opponent. Luckily today, and after the international breaks, like it was against Southampton, today it was Brentford, we're getting teams that we really want to be playing when the chips are down. We got away with that one. Now, looking ahead, Jay, West Ham, no kudos when we play them next week. And I'm only looking at the Premier League here. The Europa League is a separate entity altogether. But 4-1 today, they got smashed by Spurs having been in front. United have to win that game, did they not? There's nothing else we'll do now. For a team like that, for where West Ham are and how they're playing right now, United can't be going there and thinking a draw's an all right result. That's not the mentality now. If you're going to prove that things are moving forward, that has to be seen as a must-win, surely now.
It is, and we're playing West Ham at the worst possible time because now West Ham are a wounded animal.
They're going to want to bounce back, I understand that. Yeah. But you cannot think like that, though, at all. I hate this mentality, and I know exactly what you're going to say next, Jay, but it has to move. We have to remove this from our culture within this team, I feel.
Look, I'm not disputing that fact, but can those players produce 90-minute performance mirroring the 20 minutes tonight against Brentford and London?
That's what we're going to need.
That's what has to happen. Yeah. If they don't give 90-minute performance for 20 minutes tonight against West Ham will do us.
The problem I see is, Jay, and I know this sounds a bit cliche and everything like that, but Manchester United, after a European game, away from home in the Premier League, it never goes well. This will prove to me that there is something in here. It will prove to me that Ten Hag has maybe got something enough to mix it up and freshen things up a tiny little bit and still get a result against Fenerbahce, because we going into that game, they're fully rested, and we have just come off the back of a Jose Mourinho long, hard trip late at night in the Europa League away in Turkey, and we have got to beat West Ham. That is no easy task, even though they are playing shit, but we have to, mate, and nothing else is acceptable. Otherwise, everything that happened today in that 15-20 minute spell where we played all right, again, is forgotten about, and we're moving forward and we're going, well, why did we even get ourselves excited by that little win against Brentford? It's just what it was before. Why are we not looking at the bigger picture?
But Adam, that is why everyone you spoke to today after the game and the mood in the ground is exactly that point. We've got to go and do it again next Sunday in London, and then go and do it again against Chelsea. Or this 3 points today is just 3 points against the mid-table team. You got to go and do it again and again and again. That's why the mood today was, I won't say on a downer, but it was kind of almost, okay, we got 3 points, big deal, move on next game. Would that not be a fair point?
Yeah, that's it. Absolutely buzzing. We've got the win. We need to go on and get another one, and we need to get another one. And then we'll move on to, I'm pretty certain it's the Leicester game then, and we've got Chelsea coming up as well. So this is where we're at. It's like the one away game in the Premier League this season. It's this season. In this next group of games before the next international break is West Ham. Then we've got Chelsea at home. And again, it's an easy-ish sort of start with Brentford like we had in the last international break. We can't afford to have the similar scenario again to what we had last time where we picked up, what was it? How many points did we actually get, Jay? Was it 5 in total from that last group of the last 4 games we had in the Premier League?
It was either 5 or 7. I can't be correct. Somebody in the live chat will definitely know.
Because we beat Southampton, then we drew with Palace, we drew with Villa, and we lost to Spurs, so it was 5. 5 won't cut it right now. I've just seen Bournemouth. My table isn't up to date after the Bournemouth game. Bournemouth obviously beat Arsenal today. My God, that's a result on its own. So Bournemouth have moved ahead of us in the table. Obviously, Forest can take us as well. It just goes to show, you may feel like we have made a little bit of progress today and we've moved up the table. We have. It's been all right. But it only counts if you keep on winning. Otherwise, you're just going to stay where you are. We are more than a mid-table team. And if people think that this is all right, then I've got to question your standards and where you're actually at. I'm not convinced at all. Show me more. It's an all right start, and we got away with it today. I do believe we got away with it because I thought Brentford were pretty shit, to be honest. I'm happy with certain players. I really want to see how Rasmus, Marcus Rashford and Garnacho now move forward. I'm excited to see that now. Hopefully they can take that confidence into Thursday night. If we can get the win against Jose's team, I think that's us set up because I think we'll beat everybody else because the rest of the competition is pretty crap. If we don't get a win against Fenerbahce, I'm looking at that top 8 then in the Europa League, Jay, and I'm starting to worry a little bit.
Yeah, look, just to the point there where we are on the table, you referenced Bournemouth, Forest, Brentford. They are the teams that are around us right now. Not Liverpool, not City, not Arsenal, not Spurs. We are sitting literally mid-table now. That's where we are. And Ten Hag has to literally park today, move on, 3 points, 3 points, 3 points, or the win today doesn't mean jack shit. The test is Thursday night. Thursday night could be a tipping point for those players and that manager. We go to Turkey and take on Fenerbahce with Mourinho. And Mourinho, Jose would love to beat us in Turkey. He'd love to beat us. I think if we beat Fenerbahce, there'll be a sea change mentality in that team. That's 2 wins on the bounce. And then they will go and they will do West Ham next week. However, flip it around. We go to Turkey and Jose does Jose things and we lose 2-1, 2-1, 1-0. Then heads come down and we go to London and I guarantee you, mate, that's a loss. It's all predicated on Thursday night for me.
Thursday is a big one. Just to break it down and where we're actually at and people getting excited about where Manchester United are after today and things like that. So look, we have just beaten Brentford at home, who are appalling, haven't picked up a point away from home all season, and we're a point ahead of them in the table. That was the game where we're at. Like Jay summed it up. Right now, Manchester United's level is mid-table, and that's why we are 11th in the table right now. That's our standard, and that's where we will be. As long as these players have this same sort of mental block, like you just said, Jay, you're expecting tough games coming up, but I think we're going into the games. I think this is the problem we've got. We should be going into them games going, right, we've just beaten Brentford. Yep, let's go forward now. Let's win the next game, and let's use this little bit of momentum we've carried. Let's stop being slap-tarsies, thinking that we've always got the world on our shoulders and everyone's against us, and go out and start playing like we should play. And you're right, mate. The Thursday night game is going to be it could be the end, or it could be the kickstart of a season. It really could, because a win against them definitely gives you impetus going into that West Ham game. And then 3 wins in a row, you move into the top half of the table. You're looking pretty safe within the Europa League standings. And then you've got the Carabao Cup doubleheader against Leicester. Both at home, you should be winning them games, although Leicester, great comeback today. That is a bit of a concern. But I expect Manchester United to be beating them teams then. And then you're building that up then all to that last game, which is Chelsea at home. And that, I feel, will be the clincher. But we'll be going into the Chelsea game in the same sort of like, let's just get over the line here against Chelsea, rather than, you know what, we can compete with these. We're built up a little bit of form, and this is the level we should be playing at. Do you know where I'm going with that? It's like, instead of building it up to being like the Villa game last time, where we don't stand a chance and we just have to do a job, we could have built up a bit of momentum by beating the teams we should beat, and then feel like we're on the level page here with Chelsea and we can close the gap on them. That's how I feel it is.
That's the key word there. It's not all about momentum. It's like a boxing match. Before today, like if you take the game against Villa, on the ropes, punching off the ropes. Spurs game, literally got knocked out in the second round. Today, we're one on points. We got a split decision, one on points. We now have got a bigger, stronger, faster opponent in their home territory on Thursday. And it's about momentum. Small momentum built today. Split decision. You got the decision from the judges. You move on. Now you got your title fight. Momentum. Can we do it, Adam? Time will tell.
That is it. Definitely. I was going to go through a few of Ten Hag's quotes after the game. I'm really happy for our fans. They are always behind us, even when everyone is against us. They stick with us, always support us. We say thank you to them today for being so behind us. I think they were one of the reasons for the quick starts after half-time. I think on that there, I think United players actually were the ones that got the fans going, because the fans were dead. It was a shocking atmosphere, and I can tell you firsthand, the fans weren't behind the players. They were booed off at half-time again. You could say it was boos for the officials, but I'm going to be honest with you, I think it was a bit of both. They weren't impressed at all with that first-half performance, and nobody can say that United played well in that first half at all, or had any control of the game whatsoever. This is what I think happened, and the fans got behind the momentum. And like Ten Hag said, like the players used that anger and went out in the second half, and the fans jumped on top of that. They're going to have to start giving more back to the fans. You can say what he wants to say about thanking the fans and they're the reason. It wasn't us. It was the players finally turning up a little bit for a spell in that game and actually playing to their levels. And that's why we won that game. The fans just jumped onto that, and it was good that they actually did that for the fans and not vice versa this time, because it wasn't like that. I can tell you that now. It was because they turned up and the fans then latched onto that, and that carried us through the game. And it didn't feel, Jay, like United were going to ever lose that game. From the moment we got the equaliser, I think there was one winner. We scored it at exactly the right time, and it just gave us that momentum in the game. And you sort of thought, right, this Brentford side are going to crumble here. They had absolutely nothing. They were shocking. Absolutely shocking, Jay.
Look, Ten Hag has to play politics and thank the fans and come out with those plaudits. He has to. That's just playing politics. You're in the ground. You know exactly the mood of the fans in the ground.
Yeah.
The fans today fed off the players actually doing their jobs for a 20-minute period. And playing for the fans. So then the fans respond in time. How many times have you been at Trafford, Adam, where the fans are booed, they're doing their damnedest to raise the players, and there's no response from the players?
Yeah.
How many times?
But
today, it was the inverse today. The players actually got the fans back on board for 20 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, there are some reports. There's someone has been, I think it's Mike, who has been continuously putting in the chat that something's been said on Scandinavian TV that Manchester United have approached Thomas Frank. I mean, there'll be a lot of fans put off by Thomas Frank's approach today to that game, to be honest, how defensive he was. For what he's working with, I feel like he sort of had a game plan and it nearly came off. But I don't know anything about the reports. I'm not going to go into him too much tonight. But there is some form of report going around from a Scandinavian TV. I think it was even Jan Molby who said it, that an approach has been made to Thomas Frank. So I know there's still work going on behind the scenes. The contingency needs to be there. There has to be in case things go wrong. And no one's getting carried away with today. What it will do, it will just give us a little bit of calmness going through this week and a better build up to, like what you said, Jay, is a absolutely monumental game on Thursday night, because a defeat in that will probably take Manchester United out of even the playoff zone in the Europa League. So, yeah, I still believe that everything is going to continue as it is. I don't think there's going to be any change anytime soon. United don't want to waste money on, not so much wasting money, don't want to be paying any compensation or bringing a manager in unless they really need to. I think Ten Hag, if he continues to keep his head above water, will last a certain amount of time, but inevitably, Ineos will make a decision on how Manchester United are playing. We need more, Jay, than 20 minutes in a game against Brentford at home, though. Agreed.
And my read on Ineos is Ineos do not want to admit that they ballsed up back in May after the FA Cup. I've said it many times on a show, Adam. I think they're hoping against hope that Ten Hag can tread water at the end of the season, get top 4 or win the Europa League. They're hoping against hope, and then they will fire him and bring in a better manager. I think that's their thing. They don't want to pull a trigger now and bring in Nistelrooy because I think they see that as too much of a risk. So they're hoping against hope Ten Hag can just stutter and stammer and get them to May and not have to buy his contract. That's their hope.
Yep, that is it. 100% agree with that one. We will see what happens over the course of this week. We've got you covered here on FUTV. More content coming to you tomorrow morning, as always. We'll have the Sunday evening show tomorrow, which everybody loves tuning into, so make sure you stay tuned for that one. But yes, that is it for today's content. Massive thank you to you, Jake, for coming on, staying up and waiting around. Really appreciate it. And yeah, any other plans for the rest of the night, mate?
No, I actually got to go and do a workout. I haven't trained yet today. And training for me is like therapy. So I'm going training right now, next 5 minutes. Hence the trackies on, ready to rock.
That's it, ready to go. I'm going to go and get some much needed tea. It's been a long day, a lot of steps. And actually put my feet up and switch off from football for a bit, comfortable in the mindset that United have got 3 points and I don't need to worry about anything for one night. So let's let the Arsenal fans have their meltdowns tonight. They'll be the ones that everybody's watching for a change. And yeah, we move on. Interesting times ahead. And we'll see what happens this week. We got you covered. But thank you, everybody. Absolutely brilliant show. Great comments. Thank you for all the contributions. Get your comments in as well afterwards. Give the video a like on the way out. Make sure you have subscribed to Forever United TV. And we are back tomorrow. Thank you, everybody. Have a great Saturday evening.